goes like this. If you look at since the LEC began and this whole franchising period, what the LEC actually did is what LCS lied and said they were going to do, which is they said, if you give us franchising, then since we can't get relegated, we're going to bring in rookies and we're going to develop them. And they almost never did it, you know. Like they got a couple, but if anything, theirs is the worst league in the world for recycling the same talents over and over again. And, you know, people who played for years and are never going to be a world beater, but you just bring them back to a big name. Now in Europe, we did actually go the route that they claimed they would. We brought in all these rookies, especially the last couple of years. People are going to think of your team, Mad Lions, the main team, Rogue, of course. These teams did bring in a lot of rookie talent. But my issue is this. For those teams, I think it's fine. Like those organizations, they weren't going to get Reckless and Caps and, you know, these names. So for them, I don't mind them gambling on Kazi instead of Freeze, for example, to use an analogy you could enjoy, right? One where, you know, at the time that you'd signed the player, he's not yet that much better, but he's got the potential to be. It's a good rookie signing. But my problem basically is this. I think some of the other organizations out there are just doing it cynically. Like, I think some of them do it because they can pay this guy less money if he's a rookie. He's not going to know, like, kind of, is he joining a good team? He's just going to say yes to an offer, whereas, you know, there's some big talents where they need to have other good players there. So where were you coming from? What was the main area that you thought there was another angle to this?
First of all, I'm going to say this. Carsey is one of the best AD carries I've seen.
Sure.
Not from what you see, how he communicates, how he acts, his personality, he's insane. Okay. So I will choose him over almost every single AD carry in Europe. Even a person like Reckless, which is probably like one of the best and probably not for you, but a lot of people think that Reckless is the best. Reckless might be hard to work with compared to Carsey. Carsey is one of the easiest persons to coach, one of the easiest persons to work with, and he makes every single team better. Okay. So as you said, there are teams who try to gamble with these kind of rookies. We've seen this too much, too often, that you will probably not want to see it on every single team. But sometimes it's better because coming, especially your background comes more from Counter-Strike. You might know a lot about this, that some players, some old school players tend to be really hard to coach, okay? It's really hard to tell someone to coach. I think the other day I read something about Perks. Perks said that Western
coaches... He said coaches are kind of useless, right?
Yes, yes. Which I understand Perks. He's one of the smartest players League of Legends ever created. So he might be right on that part, on his part. In terms of macro, okay, there is probably no one who's going to teach Perks how to play the game correctly, okay, or better than him. But you have to understand that coaches also help you in terms of schedule, in terms of timetable, in terms of physical exercise, diet, a lot of things. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone who tells you, no, you have to pick this and build this and do this and this and this. No, it can't be someone that actually helps you deal with the pressure, as Grass was doing last split. I don't know if you read so many times, how many times Grabs went to social media and said, like, okay, my draft is in, I completely fucked up. And that's a lie. That's a lie. That's players fucking up, you know, but he put his face. So coaches are not always going to be the one who told you have to play like this. There has other impacts into the game, you know. Anyway, there are so many players that are really hard to coach, especially all school players like myself, other players. We are close-minded and we don't let other people telling us how we have to play the game, you know?
Yes.
For those players, to be honest, as a coach, if you tell me who do you prefer to coach, like one guy who went 10 times to Worlds, he's insane, but he's not going to listen to you ever, or one guy that mechanically looks pretty good, is going to listen to you to everything, but he's obviously didn't went to Worlds, you know? On my side, I will always prefer the second part, even though it's way riskier part. It's a completely gamble. Yes. But at least your work is, you feel the satisfaction, you know? You feel the satisfaction that someone is listening to you, someone is working together with you, and it's not like someone literally just ignore you, which I'm not saying this is Perks, by the way. I'm not obviously implying Perks. I'm just saying that a lot of old school players, especially in Counter-Strike, I know in Counter-Strike this happened as well, that some players, they just don't listen to coaches or don't listen to like the boys, team leaders, stuff like this. So in that case, you probably prefer these rookies, which sometimes, as you said, that I agree with you, sometimes you gamble way too much, and sometimes it's better to get like a veteran or someone who put voices than this.
Yes. Okay. No, I see your perspective now. That is actually a good angle. Like, I definitely agree on the coaching angle because I would say it like this. I mean, I'll even pick as a good example someone that we're obviously both friends with. So he wouldn't mind us saying this. He said it in interviews. Like Soaz is also someone who thinks that coach is just sort of like nonsense, you know, because Soaz's style is like, just leave me to do whatever I'm going to do. I'm Soaz and I'm going to, you know, I've been playing the game forever and I'm, you know, no one can tell me how to do the game better than me. But I would agree. The problem with that is, even if he's right, if he has a new teammate with him or someone who's only played 2 years or maybe someone who played for a lower team, they've never had success before, that guy actually probably isn't equipped in the way Soaz is. Like some of those top players do take for granted that like their mindset and some of the things you were talking about, how to deal with pressure, how to learn the macro side of the game, they just expect you to know that. Like they see you in solo queue, they see you really good and they just think like, well, okay, they like, go on then, just do it. And they don't realize that like it took them years to learn that. I think that's a real point actually.
I mean, from Soaz's part, first of all, I worked with him first on a Fnatic, second on Origin. So I had a good background with him. And one of the funniest stories I have with Soaz is I'm really structured. I'm the kind of guy who needs everything to be on a box, really structured. If you put me out of the box, please do it step by step. Don't do it like fully.
Okay.
So something I tend to do in coaching is, okay, let's literally in every single patch note, let's analyze all together what champions do you think they are strong on each lane, okay? So with Soaz, I had a really funny story that is, Soaz, what do you want to play on this patch when we were in Origin? And then he told me like 6 champions. And you know, like Soaz champion pool is like literally every single champion in the game.
Of course,
He can play everything. So I asked him, he put me 8 champions, and then we scrimmed that evening versus, I don't know if it was G2 or Fnatic. And from these 6 champions, he told me he didn't play a single one of them. Okay, he played 5 different champions, which they were good. In that case, like he's brilliant. He's super smart. And whatever he says, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Actually, the champion is good, but you're not following a single step I'm telling you. And he's like, yeah, but he's the best. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it to you.
Makes your job harder though, right?
Yeah. But he's a great mind. So
sure.
I have no problem in that. But coach is probably one of the best examples.